So Dragon Ball Sparking Zero just released their newest patch, and they made a lot of good changes that the fans have been asking for, but there were a few things that weren't changed, and we're going to touch on that before we actually get into the video. Some things that you're not going to expect to be changed in this update. They didn't make any penalties for rage quitting, so you're still not going to get your points if somebody rage quits. They also didn't make any tuning to super counter, so super counter is still going to be easy to pull off if you actually have this down. And they also didn't make any adjustments to quick match to make it where you can actually just go into a queue instead of having to go into a lobby and wait to play somebody. So these are still some things that we'd like to see in the future, but some of these other changes are actually really good for the longevity of the game, man. But today's anime question is going to be, what is your favorite change from the recent patch update, man? Let me know in the comments, and this thing you think you might be interested in, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things. And if you want to see more anime game content, make sure to join the Discord pinned in the description. We'll also have timestamps on this video so you can skip ahead. But let's go ahead and hop straight to this breakdown. So first off, when we start off with this patch, we're going to talk about some quality of life adjustments. One of the first things is they made all stages available whenever you're doing offline PvP, so if you're playing with your friends, you know, in split screen, you can use all the maps now. They also made some adjustments when you're actually selecting your character. A lot of the times the screen was very much congested with a lot of different transformations. Now you can actually toggle to make it to where the transformations, if one character has multiple transformations, you can just click on that one character and then you can go to all their transformations instead of it taking up multiple squares. They also added a sets function finally where you can save your teams. Hopefully they actually add some more pages so you can make more sets, but this is pretty good. Now you don't have to go on there and select your team each time whenever you're doing a DP, because this is probably the main game mode this probably affects the most. They also made some adjustments to ranked and player match. You can now skip the battle intro if you don't want to see it, but most people have to actually press the skip button. And with player match, they also made it you can make it where your team is hidden or revealed whenever you're actually editing your team. This doesn't really count for ranked match since you can't really see what the team is before the match starts anyway. They also made a good adjustment to custom battle mode, which is a mode that a lot of people weren't using because it was hard to actually find certain dialogues. Now you can sort things alphabetically, which makes it easier to find certain things that you want to say. And they made some different adjustments to the camera settings. I know a lot of people like the camera settings. One of the key things that I noticed whenever you do the lift strikes, it actually zooms in and the camera starts shaking. And you can turn these settings off, but they made a lot of adjustments to make it where it seems like the camera is more dynamic and it actually moves while you're fighting. We move into the battle adjustments. They added a new mechanic, which is the high-speed dragon dash. And the way that you hold this, you basically got to hold your charge button, so you can use R2, or if it's something else, you're on a different console. And then if you hold X, it's basically just a move where you dash in, and the amount of ki that you actually use depends on the distance that you travel. And this is pretty good. It's a very good alternate to some of the other movement abilities. They also made some adjustments to the smash attack where you're not going to get interrupted if you're getting hit with rush ki blasts whenever you're actually charging up a smash attack. And they also adjusted the window of how fast the smash attack comes out whenever you're using it in the middle of a rush combo. They also made some adjustments to the rush ki blast, and this is basically, I guess, to knock down the spammers whenever they go into sparking mode. You're not going to be able to spam out your rush ki blast as fast, which means you're not really going to be able to loot people as easily. And they also made it on the defensive side, whenever you're reflecting ki blast, you can actually move now, so it's not going to be easy for somebody to get behind you and then maybe hit you with an unblockable ultimate whenever they're spamming you with these ki blasts. Now this is a very good change since people were having a lot of issues with people spamming ki. And they also made some adjustments to the step-ins, making it where you won't be able to get hit by certain moves as often, and also being able to get past ki blasts. They also made some adjustments to the Z-burst dash, meaning the amount of ki that's actually consumed whenever you use this is going to be increased, and I actually noticed this a lot. It takes around like 2 bars now, so you really need to make sure that you're actually being careful when you're using this, because if you use all your ki and then you get your guard broken, you're going to be in a vulnerable state. And they also made an adjustment to the burst smash, making it where it's no longer just going to just take a certain amount of ki. The amount of ki that's actually gets consumed is going to depend on how far you actually travel whenever you're actually zooming in to teleport between your enemy. With also them make some adjustments to some blasts, basically making whenever you do the blast damage, whenever you have some of the boost on, it's going to do more damage. And they also made some adjustments to the Z search, where you're going to be able to find the opponent whenever they switch out or whenever the enemy dies, which is a lot better now. You're not really going to lose your lock on and leave yourself open where people can come behind you and actually get some combos off. And even though they didn't make any adjustments to the super counter, they did make some adjustments to the Z counter. The input window has been shortened, so now you're not going to really be able to get these vanish wars off as long, and it definitely does speed up. I definitely noticed it. It's not as easy to get that first vanish. Once you get the first vanish off, I think it gets a little bit more easy to get, but that first vanish is very hard to get. And they also increased the amount of ki that actually gets used whenever you're vanishing, and you don't get your skill counts as much. So this isn't really going to help people that's using like after image strikes or that's relying on their skill counts. They're not going to just want to go into vanish wars anymore. And they also made an adjustment to the revenge counter, whereas if you counter the revenge counter with perception, you're only going to use 1 of your skill points, wherefore the revenge counter is going to take 2 of them. So this basically makes it an advantage to use a perception to counter a revenge counter, because you're going to end up having your skill points longer, especially if both of y'all are maxed out. They also made an adjustment to rush attacks during sparking mode, basically reducing the damage that you're going to do whenever you're in sparking mode, and also made some adjustments to the combos of the aerial and the aerial slash combos, combos will no longer be interrupted by guarding whenever you're doing these. Some more changes for DP battle. They reduced the health recovery whenever you have characters on standby. So this is going to be very good, especially for some people that are trying to stall the matches out. And they did a very good change for the Giants, making it wherever their Z-Burst dash is no longer going to be unguardable. If you didn't know, there was a lot of cheese going on with Dr. Gero where he could just keep spamming you, charging in, and it would just break through your guard and there was nothing you could do to it. But now you can block all dashes from Giants. With the final changes being some changes to some skills and also some characters, they made it where the instant sparking is basically you're going to take one extra skill point to get it, so you're not going to be able to spam the instant sparking as much. They also made some good adjustments to the stats in general. Whenever you use a skill that actually boosts your stats, they reduced the skill count for some of these, making it where you can use these buff moves a lot easier. And After Image Strike got a very good change where I feel like it doesn't completely nerf it, but it gives you some counterplay. And basically what they did is they reduced the activation for 10 seconds, and also if you use your perception at the right time while somebody is in After Image Strike, it's going to get rid of the effect. So this is very good. So you're going to have to watch out for perception if you're using After Image Strike. False Courage got a little bit of an increase up to 2 skill points to, prevent the android cheese. I don't know why they did this one, but they actually buffed the technique from Super Saiyan Gogeta, all I need is 5 seconds, and they reduced the skill count from 3 to 2, which this one is the one that didn't make any sense. They did make a very good change to Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta with this Starburst barrier, making it where it only takes 1 of the skill points to use it now, and you can actually activate this in the middle of a combo, which I think is very good. They also made some adjustments to the blast damage when you're using the long range blast or also the ultimate blast. The speed has been reduced, making it a little bit easier for you to dodge it and also vanish it. Super Vegito got a damage boost to his final Kamehameha. They made a change to Goku Mini where his quick rush, you can now change the direction of it a little bit so you won't miss it as often. They also made a little bit of adjustment to Mr. Satan with his President Bomb. I didn't really understand this one, but basically they increased the lag time at the end of the activation. We got some long needed buffs to Dr. Gero and also Android 19. Now they're actually going to use Ki if they do Dragon Dash, Quick Ascend, or Quick Ascend. So you're not going to be able to get away with just flying up and down to stall the teams anymore. You're actually going to have to fight with these characters. They also made it with Cell Second Form where you can actually get away from his throw. And with Cooler, they increased the amount of health that he gets whenever he's going up into his transformation. I didn't see too much of a change, but he gets like a full bar back now, which isn't too bad. And they also made some adjustments to the health bars of Great Ape Vegeta and also Dr. Willow. Dr. Willow only has 3 bars now, whereas Vegeta has 4.5, which I don't really think is too crazy for Great Ape Vegeta, but you can definitely see the nerf with Dr. Willow. But these were basically all the changes they made in a recent patch. Let me know in the comments what y'all think was your favorite change, and what do you want to see come to this game in the future. I definitely think some of the things that I mentioned in the intro are probably the things that people want the most. We need to actually have some penalties for quitting. I think we need to have a better version for quick match. And I don't really think there needs to be a change to the super counter, but I definitely think we should get some more customization and other outfits for other characters besides the main cast in Dragon Ball. But let me know in the comments how y'all actually felt about this patch, and let me know how you've been enjoying the game a little bit more now that they made these changes, man. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one, man. We up.